Hi, Oma D. Glad you could join me today. Our latest little episode of projects around the house that we're going to do is laundry. Yep, it helps the bottom line too, because if you don't have to take your laundry to somebody, it's a lot less expensive. So, my daughter told me that there was a lot of college friends of hers that didn't know how to do laundry and she had to teach them. So she thought it might be a good idea if I passed along some of these household hints. It's not hard to do laundry. I take you over here. I have my stackable baskets. So I've actually kind of taught my family how to sort a little bit, which cuts down on things. Still a work in progress. Sometimes things are in the wrong basket, so I still have to go through it. However, if you've ever noticed that your whites turn out kind of gray, it's probably because you're just throwing in clothes. You don't care what colors they are. Not just because you have a lot of really dirty clothes. Even though there's items that you've washed a lot, sometimes they still have a little bit of dye that comes out of them, and that's especially true in blacks and reds. So, when you're sorting laundry, you want dark colors together. That can be a dark red. That can be a black. Some things are a little more in the middle. This kind of looks like it could go either way, but there's more black in there, so I usually put this with my dark colored clothes. This is a kind of a purple color. I actually put this in my light colored clothes. Now, you don't want to put whites with your darks. You don't want to put your light colors with your darks. But if you're going to the laundromat, you can save cash by putting your lights and your whites together. That's not going to be as big of a problem. It's only a problem when you put your darks with the lighter colored clothes, because the lighter colored clothes will take on those dyes. So, you just go through, and anything that's kind of a dark color, you put together. Anything that's a light and or a white, you can put those together. Just go through and look. Everybody can kind of tell the difference between light and dark. I even have colorblind people that are friends of mine that can tell between light shades and dark shades. If it's a dark shaded color, it goes in the darks. Don't get confused. Sometimes they'll say put colors together and put whites together. Well, doggone it, everything's colored. Lavender's a color, but I wouldn't put it with my blacks. So I usually like to say lights and darks, not colors, and because that just doesn't, that's not helpful. There are colors that I would not put together. Anyway, and then I actually separate out my jeans from my dark colors. If you're going to the laundromat, you can certainly wash your jeans with dark colored clothes. I wouldn't put them with my whites. And up here, we're like in the oil field country, so we have what's called greasers. Guys, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Don't wash those with anything. Wash those by themselves. Throw the whole thing in there. It's nasty. Throw in some Dawn dish soap, not a ton, because you'll have bubbles everywhere. But a little bit of Dawn dish soap in there helps to cut through some of that grease. Doesn't take much. Especially if you have a high efficiency washer. You don't need to use a whole bunch. I have used Dawn in my high efficiency washer. It is doable and it will help with the grease. But that's a sparingly thing. You don't put a lot in there. So separate out your jeans if you have your own washer and dryer. Sometimes it's helpful so it doesn't unbalance the load too much. Then I also put my towels in a separate load. And you know, I have never found that it's a problem to put dark and light towels together. Usually those are pretty color fast. It's not an issue. You can still separate those out if you want to. The reason I put the towels in a separate load is because, especially new towels, always wash towels before you use them, because when you dry with a brand new towel, you will have lint and fuzz everywhere. And I'm talking everywhere. So, always wash towels, brand new towels first, because you want to get rid of all that lint. Now, they're going to slough off a little bit of lint every time you wash it for a little while. Anyway, put all the towels in the wash together because they're washed a little bit different. You can put fabric softeners in with your other clothes, and you probably want to put fabric softener in with those other clothes. You can also use dryer sheets with the other clothes. But with your towels, dryer sheets actually cut down on the absorbency of a towel, so you want to dry those without a dryer sheet. And just a little tip that not everybody knows, the lint catcher. I'll show you my lint catcher on this dryer. Had to move a couple things. My lint catcher is right here. This, if you use a dryer sheet about once a month, you need to take like a fingernail brush or a scrub brush of some sort and wash this with soap and water and scrub it. Because if you're using dryer sheets, there's actually a film that goes over top of that. And, hair. And it cuts down on how much airflow is going through that screen. So it's really important to keep that clean so it doesn't start a fire in your house. It is a fire hazard. You can still use the dryer sheets, but it can be a fire hazard if you're not careful. So, some people don't realize that. And I actually knew of a woman over 40 when I was like 18, 19 years old. She didn't realize that there was even a lint trap in her dryer. You need to clean that out so that it doesn't just accumulate lint. When you're at the laundromat, they do that for you. You don't have to worry about it. But in your own personal dryers, find your lint trap. It's either on the top, up in the corner, or if you open the door, sometimes it's down like where the door shuts. It's down in there sometimes. So just look around for that because that's another fire hazard. And it will cut down on the efficiency of your dryer. So I usually try to clean mine out either every load or every other load, and depending on how linty things are. But especially for beginners, just be safe and do every load. Clean out your lint trap. That way your dryer is going to be more efficient, dry clothes quicker. If it's taking 3 hours to dry your clothes, that's not normal, and you probably haven't cleaned out your lint trap. So you're using a lot of electricity for not a lot of benefit. Not good. So I've got my dark clothes over here. I'm going to throw them in. Excuse me one moment. So I actually have a high efficiency washer. There are soaps out there for high efficiency washers. I make my own soap, and it's good for high efficiency washers. I will actually show you guys how to do that on another video, not this one. But I also make my own fabric softener, and it works out pretty well. I still have dryer sheets because where I live, I end up with a lot of static electricity. It's a very dry climate. However, if you don't have to worry about the static electricity as much, and I actually found a way to do my own dryer sheets to help with the static electricity, so I'll probably add that in too. But you can get dryer balls, which are really cool, and you can add essential oils. Like lavender's a really good one to add. These, you can get these at the store. They're not very much. I think they're like $5 for 2 balls. And I have 4. And I put like 1 or 2 drops of essential oils on each of the balls when I'm using them. Throw them in your dryer. It works really good to soften your clothes and things while you're drying them. And especially if you're using lavender with your bedding, that's wonderful because lavender helps you sleep. So just and see, here's my oil for that. Anyway, so get everything set up. Make sure they're separated. They actually have at the store dye catchers, which are disposable. They almost look like dryer sheets. You can use those if you have to. If you ever need to, there are times in the past when I've had to go to the laundromat, and you don't want to use any more washers and dryers than you have to because they cost so stinking much. In that case, if you absolutely have to put your light colored clothes with your darks, if you get those dye catchers, it does help a little bit. But if there's any way possible of getting around those, please just do that, because you're not really, in the long run, I mean, it costs money for the dye catchers. You may as well wash them separately, but if there's some reason that you absolutely cannot use more than just that one load, your best bet is the dye catchers. Most of the time, you can wash clothes with cold water. If you're washing greasers, I would not wash those in cold water. I would wash those in warm, at least. And towels, I would wash in hot water, because your towels, I mean, your towels and washcloths see a lot. And the water temperature gets high enough that you can kill off any bacteria that might be on it. And I'm not a germaphobe. I'm just saying, use common sense. If you're at home and you're watching your pennies, you can do most of your laundry on cold water. It's not going to hurt anything. It might even help prolong some of your garments. Also, if you have anything that says hand wash only, yes, I have hand washed. Yes, I've done laundry in my tub. It's not fun. But when I have something that says hand wash only, I throw it in a garment bag and throw it in with the rest of my laundry. The garment bag keeps it from getting all pulled on, and because usually it's a more delicate garment when you're using the hand wash only thing and you use a garment bag. But everything that says hand wash only, and that you probably want to use cold water with the hand wash only items, mine have all gone through the laundry just fine using a garment bag. So girls, simple little garment bag, probably costs about $1. So they're pretty inexpensive to replace if you need to. Sometimes women's personal undergarments will grab hold of these and hook into them. You might get a little catch, maybe, or you'll have to just untangle it and pull it out. But they also make laundry bags for the girls' items. If they have a particularly expensive, or if they're wanting to try to help keep them nice as long as possible, they actually make garment bags for those, although these will work as well. So, pretty much all there is to laundry. I wash my sheets separate from my towels because I don't want lint all in my sheets. I wash, obviously I said earlier, wash the towels separate from everything so I don't end up with lint through all my laundry. Laundry is pretty simple. If you feel like you're not sure if it's a light or a dark, err on the side of caution and put it in with the darks. Sometimes I find they can go either way, and you might even look and say, okay, which load has the least amount of clothes, the lights or the darks? If this can go in either one, just put it in the one that has less clothes. That way you're evening out your loads a little bit. You don't want to overload a washer, because then it doesn't clean as well. And there you have it. As far as any of your laundry soaps, I haven't found that one's really any better than another, actually. But I also went to making my own, which is a big money saver because I don't have to use a whole lot of it, and it lasts for a really long time. I actually make it up in a 5-gallon bucket. No, it's not a full bucket by the time I get done. It just gives me space to mix it. But that is how we do laundry. Thank you for joining me. I hope it's really helpful for those of you that are in a quandary over how to do laundry. If you have any questions about it, leave some comments and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. In the meantime, this is Oma D. I look forward to seeing you next time.